So what to do to achieve the best topology for our models, something that we can use outside of Marvelous and modify it and sculpt it and do all the fun things. Well, the I would say old school of doing that was to bring it into Maya or 3ds Max, then flatten it in 2D into UV layout, and then simply add a new cage on top of it. It's a very technical thing, so I'm not going to go into detail here, but basically what Marvelous did is that they created the same thing inside of Marvelous now, so we don't need to go into an outside program, something like 3ds Max or Maya, to create this new topology. We can use the topology tools inside of Marvelous, which is I find to be tremendously helpful. This is something that will speed up and simplify the process of taking the assets from Marvelous and bringing them into the next stage of the production. So the tools are located at the very top, and they called edit topology and create topology. And at the moment they're quite basic. This is just the first version of those tools, and I do hope that they will be improved upon, because they're quite limited, but nonetheless they do the job. So the way they work is that if we select the create topology, we have this new tool, just a white dot, and with it we can click on the first vertex, and we can see that nothing really happened. But if we connect those two dots, we can see that there's new well, something changed. There's now two polygons. There's one polygon, another polygon. This is basically modeling, and I will not go into explaining what modeling is. If you're not familiar with this, if Marvelous is everything that you know, you probably don't even need to get into this chapter, this technical side of things, because for presentation sakes, those other types of topology work. But if this is something for video games, or for even for films, this is there would be no point for me to explain this. I'm sure you're familiar with it. But to explain the tools themselves, there are some selection things that we can do. So if we go into edit topology, we can select the edges, we can select the vertices themselves, and this is very strangely operated. We need to hold the control, and then we can click and drag to select those things. Otherwise we don't have absolutely nothing. And if we want to select the whole piece, we can come into one of those vertices and double click it, and we can select this way everything. Then if you want to subdivide the topology, if you want to subdivide this piece, we can either select it, right click and add division, and it says in the brackets current pattern. And if we had many patterns in here, we can simply right click on the canvas and press add all division. As we can see, the divisions are added. And one thing to mention as well is that those tools work symmetrically, which is quite handy. So we don't need to work on everything. We simply need to concentrate on one side of the garment. If we double click an edge, we select the edge loop, and then we can move it. The movement is somewhat strange. It's very limited. Sometimes it goes into simply one direction, doesn't go into the other side for some reason, but it still works. And the vertices, they move freely. Going back into the create topology, we can either click on the dots and create topology this way, but we can also press Ctrl Shift, and we can see that there's new line showing up, and this is basically an edge loop. So when we click here, we create an edge loop. And one good thing about this this technique is that the vertices, they snap to the borders of the garment that we are retopologizing. The problem with it is that it only snaps to one side, so it's somewhat strange, but at this moment this is how it works.
If you enjoy this content or find it useful, please consider supporting me by buying me a cup of coffee via the link in the description.
At the moment we cannot cut through the edges, unfortunately, so this kind of topology creation requires some familiarity with the good topology and efficient topology and some planning ahead. So in this situation, for example, where I want the topology to go this way, I cannot cut the edge. I cannot cut this edge, so it requires some other techniques. Select the two vertices, right click and press merge. And also, if we click on the canvas, right click on the canvas, there's merge all, and in here we can merge a lot of things simultaneously if we select the length. And for example, in cases like this, for example, where we have a lot of vertices and we don't want to select them individually, we can come in here, increase the size, click apply. Unfortunately, we cannot modify it to anything that is higher than 10, so in this case this is not very useful. So that's more or less good topology. There was some extra things that I did in here, but this is what I wanted to achieve. This is what I prefer to work with. I need to, of course, subdivide it a few more times so I get equally spaced out quads, and I will simply right click, add another division, and this is more or less what I would consider a perfect topology. So if we look in here, so we have a little bit of a problem, and this is just the first version of the tool, so some issues will happen, but it is what it is. For the time being, it's still better and faster than to bring it into another program and do the same thing with some additional processes in between. So the reason why I think this is good topology to work with is because we have all the loops aligning with the borders. We can create some kind of seams, we can create additional loops where we want, and in ZBrush, for example, there won't be any problems sculpting on this mesh. We simply need to bring this low resolution asset into ZBrush and then project the details from the high res. And to get this new topology as an object, to basically be able to bring it out of Marvelous, we need to right click, and then we have the remesh all, and there are two options. One is duplicate and another one is replace. If we duplicate, we will keep this construction that we've created, and if we press replace, this construction will be deleted and we are going to be left out only with the new model. And then I will move this new mesh out of the way. And we have the other side in here as well. After the remeshing, after creating the model, the issue that was happening in the 2D view resolved itself. So this is good news. So this is how it's done. This is how the topology tools work in Marvelous, and they're very basic. They're just the first stage of the, I hope, what's going to be a great, powerful addition to Marvelous. And if you are using Marvelous Designer for production, for video games and for film, this is tremendously useful tools. If you are using the program for clothing design, for look dev, and well, something as a hobby, then this kind of technical aspect of the program is probably not something that you will find useful. But otherwise, this is definitely a thumbs up for the Marvelous Designer team, because this is something that a lot of artists have been doing for a long time, and now we can do this inside of the program itself. So that's a very, very good feature.